Hi, I'm Mike Morano, once again reporting for DamonWildcats.com, our second installment of Wildcat Weekly, and going to be joined by two coaches today, starting with the now two-time East Coast Conference Coach of the Year, Stephanie Albano. I put her on the spot. Coach, first chance that we've gotten to sit down and talk a little bit about your season, a phenomenal season that it was. 21-11 overall, 13-1 in the East Coast Conference. You guys win the East Coast Conference regular season championship and then follow it up with a tournament championship. Just talk a little bit about your season.
I think for us, our season, we played some really tough competition in the beginning and it helped prepare us for our conference and our region. And we just had a lot of depth. Like everyone on the team, we had some injuries and it didn't matter who was out there, like we could still sustain a high level. So it was really awesome to see that come together. And I'm just really proud of all the girls for sticking with it and battling through some different things throughout the year and being team players, and it ended up with really good results.
A little bit of unfinished business for you guys was the second opportunity in the last 3 years that we've had the opportunity to host the conference championship tournament. Didn't get it done the last time around back in 2016. This time, how important was it for your team to get the job done here on home court at Lumsden Gymnasium?
I mean, I didn't really think about it like that, but for us, we knew Malloy is always they're a good team and they have some good players, and it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, especially the first 2 times we beat them 3-0. And so they came in and they played hard, and for us, we stayed in the moment, one play at a time, and I thought the girls did a really good job of rebounding quickly from any mistakes, and we were able to win that, and it felt really good. It was really awesome when we got to hold that trophy up and we were on home court, and so I'm really happy for the girls that they all got to experience that feeling because it's really amazing.
Malloy was the defending conference champion team too, that bears repeating. So you go on to the NCAA tournament, second NCAA tournament berth in the last 3 seasons. I know that match against American International didn't exactly work out the way that you wanted, but what do you guys take away from that match?
I think our youth showed a lot. Like we went on the road, it was different. We traveled during the week, usually we never missed class. There's just a lot of factors, and it was a new experience for a lot of people, where AIC was a more veteran team, and we were very jittery in that moment. The promising part of all of this is we return mostly everybody, so they have that experience. They know that we don't want to be in that situation again, and so this spring for us, it's about how do we continue to get better and strive for more, because that's the exciting part about our team is there's still a lot of growth for everybody. So I think that we can continue to develop, and next year if we're in that position, it might turn out differently.
Yeah, AIC went on to run the table at the East Regional, got through the regional portion of the NCAA tournament to get to the Elite Eight. That bears repeating as the 6th seed too, right? Mm-hmm. So they were hot at the right moment when they ran into you guys. You mentioned it, 11 players set to come back for next season, so the nucleus is there. Looks like you guys might be set up for success here in the future. Just want to highlight a couple players and see what your thoughts are. A couple of all-conference players coming back. Issa McCaffrey, as a freshman, she was first-team all-conference and the co-center of the year in the league. Tirza Peters was a first-team all-league player in the middle for you. And then Meg Ballou, second year in a row that she's been a second-team all-conference player.
Yeah, so we'll talk about Issa first. I thought as a freshman, sometimes it's really hard to come in and run an offense and make those connections with your teammates. She did a really good job of kind of owning the setting spot, but not making it about her. And I thought she did a good job leading the team and helping us achieve the goals that we needed to as a freshman. And again, for her, it's awesome because she has a lot of room to grow, and she's still achieved a lot this year. Like she had over 1,000 assists, and she was first team all conference, and she just really eats and breathes and sleeps volleyball, which is great. So it's just continuing to develop that for her. So she did a really nice job. Tirza, last year she was our most improved player, and she's the kid that will work outside the gym in the summer. She was setting up open gyms on her own, playing with boys, doing all this stuff to better her game, and it really showed. And she did some amazing things, and she's really athletic and strong and physical, and she did put up some really amazing numbers, a bunch of matches, and she's just the kind of kid that wants to continue to get better, so I'm excited for this spring for her. And then Meg has been consistent for us, which has been really nice. We did move her to the right side. I think that helped her and just being able to get more balls in the system, find ways to get kills. She puts up a really good block. So she just did a good job of leading our team. She's one of the veterans, and she was a steady pulse for us.
And Meg's racking up these accomplishments while being a student in our physician's assistance program, which you know as a coach is not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of give and take there academically. There's a lot of requirements that she has to abide by to be able to compete. So
and she did really well in the classroom. So she's been doing amazing things.
A couple of unsung people that I want to highlight because they may not have gotten the notoriety like some of the others, but I think they had just as big a part in your team's success this year, and that's Allie Greenwood, who is your defensive specialist. She's one of the top liberos in the conference. Georgia Wicker, who's by trade a defensive specialist, and towards the end of the year had to step in and fill a setting role for you, kind of just on a whim. And I thought she was valuable, especially late in the year. And then Allison Post, who missed the first part of the season, but came back and really became like your go-to player down the stretch.
So Allie Greenwood, she is just the anchor of our team. Defensively, she's the person on our team that runs back from the water break and is just like, let's go. So she's bringing a lot of that mentality and let's go, let's compete mentality, and she digs a lot of balls for us. She receives very well, and so I think, again, like she's going to continue to get better. And then Georgia, she just likes competing, and we switched our offensive scheme, so we did go to a 6-2, which means we had 2 setters, just so that way we could get bigger at the pin, get more attackers involved. And last year we did train her at the setting position because we didn't have a setter in the spring, so she did have setting experience, and we went with it. She filled that role, and it was just no looking back. She did what she had to do for the team, and she did a really nice job for us there. And then Allison is also, she's a competitor. She's a gamer, like she wants to be in the game, she wants to be in that moment, and she knows how to score. And a lot of times when we were in trouble, we gave her the ball because she knows what to do with the ball at the right time, and it showed. She averaged a lot of kills towards the end, so she did really nice things for us.
One other returning player that I want to specifically highlight is Courtney Bernard, and what she meant to your team this year, because she was a player really didn't have an idea of if she was going to be able to compete. She was battling herself through some injuries, and she ended up being a really big piece of the team.
Yeah, we last summer told her to train left-handed, and she did, and she can actually hit left-handed pretty good. And she was able to go with her right, and she earned a starting spot, and just her court presence and composure on the court really helps our team. She's very composed, she doesn't get rattled in moments, she knows how to calm everybody down, and I mean, she struggled a little bit just because from a mental standpoint, being back in and putting these high expectations on herself, and then once she let that go, when we played against Malloy in the conference championship, she really came through. She had some big blocks and kills at the right moments, and I'm really excited because I know that she's going to continue to do that for us heading into her last year.
Yeah, Courtney will be back as a redshirt senior next fall. 4 recruits to add to the mix. We might as well chat about them a little bit. Lauren Albert, she's a highly touted middle blocker out of the state of Illinois. Lexi Prokopius, she's an outside hitter from Ohio. Shelby Kirsten can play in the middle or outside. She's a local product here from Walden, New York. And then just recently you added a transfer student, Hannah McKee, who's out of the state of California and began her college career this past fall at St. Martin's University in Washington. So what are you expecting out of those 4 players?
So we'll start with Hannah first, and she'll be with us this spring. And she just provides us some depth at the setting position. We had 1 setter, which can be risky if anything would happen to the team. And so I'm excited to get her in the gym. When she was on campus, she was able to practice with the team, and she fit in really well. And she wants to get better at volleyball, and she really loves volleyball, and she likes the people here, and she fits in. So I'm excited about adding her and having her and Issa work together to become the best setting tandem in the conference. And then Lauren Alberts it's kind of cool. She was an AVCA All-American Honorable Mention, and when you look at that list, it's mostly Division I kids, and so it was neat to see like Damon pop up on that list. But she reads the game really well, so she's able to block, she's quick in the middle, she's fast twitched. If she continues to work throughout her club season and in the fall, like I can see her making an immediate impact for us. And then Lexi, I'm actually going to see her play this weekend. She's just likes competing. She's the kid that'll, the ball's wherever it needs to be, she's gonna go after it and try and get it up. And she has this funky personality, and she'll just be a fun addition to our team. And then Shelby's a local product, and the thing about Shelby is sometimes people call her a bull in the china shop because she just swings, which I'm totally okay with. But she, again, whenever I'm in the gym or I go into Niagara Frontier, like she's always there. Like she's working clinics, she's getting extra lessons, she just loves volleyball, and she's very passionate, and she's very competitive, and she's gonna bring that energy and spirit with her to this team, so I'm very excited about that.
Great. Well, we wish you luck as you guys will begin spring practice here in a couple of weeks and get your spring season underway. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys compete again next fall, again as the reigning East Coast Conference champions. We're going to take a step aside here for just a second, and when we come back, I'm going to be joined by head coach Jenepher Banker of our women's basketball program, and we're going to talk to her about her team's 2-game winning streak.
At Damon College, you are invited to explore the world.
You'll see things differently.
This isn't modern art, it's a butterfly wing.
This passport isn't just identification.
It's a ticket that will open the door to a new adventure.
You'll discover that you have the power to change lives.
And in doing so, you will be changed forever.
And welcome back to our second edition of Wildcat Weekly, and joined right now by our head women's basketball coach Jenepher Banker. Has her team on a 2-game winning streak, and as much as I know you want to talk about those 2 wins, we'll get to that. We'll get there in a second. I want to ask you first about the kind of the murderer's row schedule that you guys went through early in the season. 8 of the first 11 opponents that you guys played were regionally ranked. 9 of the first 10 of those games came on the road. So what kind of challenges did that schedule present for you guys early on?
Yeah, it presented a lot of challenges. Those teams are not, they're still all doing extremely well. A couple of nationally ranked teams, and they are all, even the other teams that aren't regionally ranked are doing okay too. So it was a very difficult schedule, and being on the road so much on top of the talent that we were playing. So we were trying to learn through playing those teams. So hopefully that'll help us in the second half of the season.
Maybe you guys turned a corner this past weekend because you picked up a pretty commanding win over Malloy, 65-42 final, where it was kind of back and forth in the first quarter, but then you guys really kind of took control in the second and third and kind of cruised there to a win there. And then a really hard-fought win against Queens last Sunday, 54-51. A game that had 23 lead changes. So do you feel like your team kind of turned a corner this past weekend?
I thought our team did a really good job of executing the scout this weekend. If you can, and I thought they did a really good job on the defensive end of doing what we asked them to do. Sometimes if the shots aren't falling, which they weren't against Queens for sure, you've got to grind it out on the defensive end, and I thought our team did a really good job. Queens has some really good players, some of the best scorers in the league, so I thought they're a dangerous team, even though their record might not show that right now, and I thought our team did a really good job. They have a player that just came back that's a real good player for them too, so I thought our team did a really good job of sticking with the scout and grinding it out on the defensive end.
Freshman forward Katie Titus, she was kind of the star of stars for you this past weekend. 23 points in both games, that's a career high. She ends up getting East Coast Conference Player of the Week honors. What did you see out of Katie that allowed her to have such a successful weekend?
Well, Katie's a great player, and so this weekend, she was able, she got a couple shots to fall, and then I think her confidence just went from there. She's capable of doing that all the time, and so that's well-deserved for her, that honor, and she's such a smart player. She's just an extremely smart player, which is nice to have that on the floor, and she can score at all 3 levels. So looking forward to the rest of the year there.
The impressive thing to me about the 2 wins was that they came in 2 games where Tiara Filbert, who's been your leading scorer all season long, and you pretty much know what you're going to get out of her on any given night. She had a tough shooting weekend But she still responded. She got you 7 big points in the fourth quarter against Queens. What has Tiara meant to your team so far?
Oh, everything, at both ends. And those 7 points were just huge and indicative of what she can do for your team and really what she's been doing for the team all year long. And, to step up at the free throw line and go 4 for 4 down the stretch. I mean, we were trying to get her the ball, so she was the one going to the line, and, she delivered. So she's had a great year. She's played well all year long.
And then just looking ahead to this weekend, you guys will be on the road, game Friday at Mercy, and then Sunday at Bridgeport. Bridgeport's been one of the surprise teams in the league this year. They've got a new head coach, so what do you expect from your team this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to have to, both teams have new head coaches, and both teams are better than they were last year. So we're going to need to, again, we're going to have to go in there and defend in both games and just execute on the offensive end and do our jobs.
So that's, again, Friday, January 18th. The women's basketball team will be on the road at Mercy College. Sunday, January 20th at Bridgeport. Both of those games broadcast on the East Coast Conference Network. And, of course, we'll have all the information that you need at DameWildcats.com. And with that, we're going to say good luck to you this weekend, Coach. And that's going to do it for our second edition of Wildcat Weekly.